What's up, my central unit is the Central Man here, so back again with another classic WWE pay-per-view review. So I haven't really gone into that late 2000s WWE pay-per-view archive in a long time. I think it was way back in the spring. I think it was about Aprilish. Yeah, I say Aprilish. The last one I did was basically Night of Champions 2008. Anyway, so let's fast forward to September that year. I'm going to review WWE Unforgiven 2008. This show was at the Quicken Loans Arena, or right now it's called what's it called? The Rocket Mortgage. I think it's called I think it's called Rocket Mortgage. Yeah, shit, what is it called again? I forgot. It's good. Yeah, the Quickens Arena. Oh God, I fucked it up. Anyway, so I found it. Aha. Yeah, Rockets Mortgage Field. Field House. Man, I fucked up again. Sorry about that. Trying to remember. Trying to remember the arena. Yeah, it's called the I found it. It's called Let me find it. Sorry, folks. Anyway, yeah. The show was at the the yeah, it's called the Rocket Mortgage Field House. Sorry, I was like, sorry about that. I was like, I was about to say something. I was got it mixed up. Yeah, it's called the right now it's called the back then it's called the Quicken Loans Arena. Right now it's called the Rocket Mortgage Field House in Cleveland, Ohio, on the 7th of September 2008. This is the first non-Big Four pay-per-view of the PG era because the first pay-per-view of the PG era was SummerSlam of that year. This pay-per-view is memorable for two things. It's memorable for the championship scramble matches, and this is the final Unforgiven pay-per-view in WWE history, and they never brought it back ever since. I wish they bring it back, because in recent years, the last 4 years, you can tell WWE's brought back Backlash. They brought back No Mercy, those old school pay-per-views. They're starting to break away. Because after like 08, 09, they start get rid of these old school, Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression era pay-per-views, and replace them to these gimmick themed pay-per-views like your Hell in Cells, Extreme Rules, TLC, Money in the Bank, Bragging Rights. In like recent years, they starting to break away from the gimmick themed pay-per-views. You still got you got Payback, Actually, they haven't done Battleground since 2017. They did shows in Saudi Arabia, and they did like one show with Great Balls of Fire. That was a stupid name of a pay-per-view, but you can tell they're starting to break away of doing gimmick themed pay-per-views. I hope they bring back Unforgiven in the near future. Anyway, so yeah, I think did I say did I say the attendance? The attendance was about, I think it's about 8,707. Anyway, so the commentators for Unforgiven of 2008 are on the Raw side. We've got Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler. On SmackDown, we got JR and Taz. This is like at the time, it was because JR got drafted to Raw. He didn't got noticed that he's going to leave Raw to commented on the SmackDown side, so he almost quit. But anyway, and on the ECW side, we got, I think it was Todd Grissom and Matt Striker. And speaking of ECW, we got the ECW's Championship Scramble match to kick off the show. There's a one problem about the Championship Scramble matches. I think the problem is, those championship scramble matches on this show were good. You know, they're not like bad, but I think the problem is it's just confusing. Like you start off, there's 5 people in the ring. You know, it's like a Royal Rumble base match. Basically, like you got the two guys started this match. You get like 5 minutes, and so another wrestler shows up. If you get a pinfall submission means like you're a current champion. It's kind of confusing. Like, why could it be like this? Why could it be like the most wins and you be the official champion? I explained it in the end. So anyway, this is for the ECW Championship. The wrestlers competing in the championship scramble match in the ECW side. You've got the ECW champion Mark Henry, Matt Hardy. Let's see, Chavo Guerrero, The Miz, and Finley. This was a good match. You got like some of the not really ECW championship material. Like you got Chavo Guerrero, a former ECW champion, and you got Matt Hardy, could be potential ECW champion. Miz, no. Finley is like a don't know type of situation. Basically, I think who got the first pinfall? I think it was Chavo Guerrero hit I think it was the frog splash onto Matt Hardy. I think, and then I think Miz pinned Matt Hardy the same. And then you got like Matt Hardy like hit the bulldog on the Miz and a side effect onto Chavo Guerrero. And then you got Mark Henry came out, I think he hit a world strongest slam on I think it was on the Miz or Chavo. I think it was on Chavo Guerrero. And then you got Finley hit the Celtic Cross. That'll later on become Sheamus's white noise move. I think it was on Chavo Guerrero to score the victory, and then he's like the current champion. Yeah, I think the problem why they never done more. Like I said, I'll explain it in the end, but Matt Hardy in the end really hit the twist of fate. I think it was on Finley, and then he survived about 2 minutes to win this match and become the new ECW champion. Mark Henry never got pinned. At least they protect him. Yeah, and yeah. At this point, ECW as a third brand at this point was dead. It was dead after that fiasco pay-per-view, December to Dismember in 2006, and then I think it proper killed when Vince McMahon won the belt in 2007. That could be the official death of ECW as the third brand. I might do a video on it in the near future, but anyway, so Matt Hardy winning the title was good. It was a big title in his career because he's been in the company for a decade. You got to realize Matt Hardy been in for 10 years. Yeah, he got fired in 2005, but they re-signed him. But 10 years, in the Attitude Era, Team Extreme. Yeah, I feel like dropped the ball on him when got fed to lost a lot of matches with Edge in 2005. But I feel like people don't really count ECW as the world title. But I think yes, I think it's the biggest title for him in his career so far. He's been tag team champion. He's been a mid card champion. I don't think did Matt Hardy won the IC title? Don't think so. He's won the United States title, and he's became cruiserweight champion. This is add to his accolade for Matt Hardy. Oh, let him win the world title years later in TNA. In 2015 at Bound for Glory, and again in 2016. But I think I don't think he will win those world titles if he did not win the ECW title on this show. So anyway, Mark Henry had I don't know, at this point it was really a dead brand. He won the title at Night of Champions. He had he won it in June, July, August, September. He's really had a 4-month run as well as ECW champion. He won another title again in 2011 at Night of Champions. It kicked off, doing the whole Hall of Pain gimmick. Anyway, so yeah, it was a good way to kick off the show. I think it was a good, really one of the best scramble matches on the show. Anyway, so the next match of at Unforgiven, we got the World Tag Team Championship match. Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. I think they're now, at this point, they were called Priceless, defending the belts against Crying Time. That is JTG, and right now, the late Shad Gaspard. I think this was a good match. You know, the heels got the heat, the babyfaces combat, and in the end, I think it was JTT, JTT going for like a roll up, trying to roll up Cody Rhodes, and DiBiase kind of like uh, flipped it over. It looked like Cody counted it, the roll up. In the end, Priceless got the really retained the tag team titles, and it's really damn shame that not Priceless, Crying Time never won the belt. They never become tag team champions. You know, they never become WWE tag team champions. Never become the world tag team champions. It's damn shame they never came back in the. They should, in my opinion, they should have came back. Crying Time should have came back in 2016 when WWE starting to do the brand split 2.0. But unfortunately, they never came back. So it's a damn shame. So criminal. You had Crying Time trying to beat down Priceless, but instead you got I think this is the debut of Manu. Manu basically beat down Crying Time to help Rhodes and DiBiase. This is not the last time we see Rhodes, DiBiase, Manu on the show. I'll explain a little bit later. And then we got basically the match of the night. We got Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho in I think it was called a non-censored match. Basically, if like they're not gonna get sued if they get injured. So anyway, so this has got to be one of the best feuds of the year. Remember, 2008 was a good year for the company because people were gonna see it as a negative because the company turned PG, but I think 2009 overall was really a good year for the company. And Jericho and Shawn Michaels, this is the best feud of the year, and this is like probably the best feud on Raw at the time. So basically, Jericho turned heel on Shawn Michaels in June of that year on a Raw. It was on the highlight reel segment on Raw. I think it was on the second. No, it wasn't the second June. I think it was 3rd of June. Anyway, so basically Jericho turned on Shawn Michaels, shoved his face into the Jericho 5000. And then, I think Shawn Michaels cost Jericho the IC title belt to Kofi Kingston weeks later. And then, they had really had the second match of the feud because they had the first match of the rivalry, the renewed rivalry because they had the match. They had a rivalry in 2003. They had the match at WrestleMania 19. And the second match of the rivalry at the Great American Bash, Chris Jericho won the first match of really the second match of the renewed rivalry. Basically beat the fuck out Shawn Michaels' eye. That led to the blood pouring out in his face. That led to I don't know. It's so debatable if this match, that match between Jericho and Shawn Michaels, a match at the Great American Bash, was basically the reason why the company went PG. Okay, and then the following months, pay-per-view at SummerSlam. Basically, there was like a segment like Shawn Michaels basically kayfabe being retired because he's had a retired due to an eye injury, and Chris Jericho said about he's not going to retire because of the eye injury because he wants to retire because of him. And then Jericho basically is an accident. He basically he's going to hit Shawn Michaels in the face, but he accidentally hits his wife Rebecca. She got a bit of a really a bloody lip. So, anyways, this was match of the night. Basically, they beat the living piss out of each other. And also, the announcer said like before the start of the match, Shawn Michaels was wearing like this bandage around his arm because I think it was on the Go Home show or really. I think he really partially torn his tricep, and he played a massive part in this match. Where you had Lance Cade, basically Jericho's lackey. It's a damn shame. It's really sad because I think it was a year later. Lance Cade passed away. I don't know how he died. He probably died. I think he died in his 30s or 40s, but probably I think he's in his 30s at the time. Anyway, so that he's basically like basically grabbed You basically had Jericho grab one more of the match. You had Jericho grab, hold both Shawn Michaels' arms, and basically Cade kind of kneed Shawn Michaels' injured arm into the ring post. They're about to re-injure Shawn Michaels' arm. Jericho was going to do a move off the top rope. Cade was holding Shawn Michaels' injured tricep, but Shawn Michaels battled out. I think he kind of whipped Jericho with a fucking chair because you can't really smack him in the chair because of his injured triceps. I think like one more of the match, he was selling the injuries to Jericho. Like one more of the match, they did there was a spotlight. Basically Shawn Michaels basically suplexed Jericho onto the ramp. Yeah, and then after, and yeah, he had basically like Shawn Michaels whipped him in with his belt. I felt like it was so violent, and it wasn't super violent, but Jericho bled in this match. He didn't bled in the face. He bled, his nose was bleeding, and at this time, WWE banned blood. And yeah, afterwards, you got basically like Shawn Michaels basically beat the living piss, like multiple punches in Jericho's face. It's the damn shame how Jericho didn't bled in the face. But yeah, and basically the referees called it out and give it because Jericho's unable to really continue. Shawn Michaels won this match, and then afterwards he beat Jericho more. I think he gave the referee a sweet chin music, and yeah, and before that, and before that, yeah, Shawn Michaels did like a double diving elbow onto both Jericho and Cade. And also you get Shawn Michaels gave the Lance Cade the Sweet Chin music. So anyway, it was a really good match of the night. For really Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho. The original plan is that it should be the blow off to the rivalry between Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. I'll explain a little bit later. Anyway, so that's match number 3. Match number 4, we got the SmackDown Championship Scramble match. We got Triple H, the champion, defending the belts against Jeff Hardy, MVP. So Triple H, Jeff Hardy, MVP. Shit, who's the fourth competitor? Shit, almost forgot. Brian Kendrick. There's one. Triple H, Jeff Hardy, MVP, Brian Kendrick. Was it? Yeah, Triple H, Jeff Hardy, MVP, Brian Kendrick. Who's the fifth competitor? I'm sorry. Who's the? God, I'm losing. God, I forgot. Shit. Fucking hell. Who's the fourth competitor? I'm gonna end up losing it. Triple H, Jeff Hardy, Brian Kendrick, MVP. Who's the fourth competitor? Or fifth competitor? Sorry. Fuck. Sorry about that, folks. Ah, 1 second. Be right back. I'm back. Shelton Benjamin. Oh, I forgot Shelton Benjamin. So yeah, it was Triple H the champion, Jeff Hardy, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, and Brian Kendrick. Like Kendrick got the victory. Actually, he didn't really won this match. Basically, he pinned Jeff Hardy with the sliced bread to score the victory, and he's the current WWE champion. Yeah, this is a problem why a little bit flop because if you pin someone, you're officially current be the champion. You have to survive 20 minutes until you officially become the champion. Anyway, so yeah, this is the second best match of the night. Not second best match, but the second best out of the Scrabble matches of the show. And then you got Triple H. Really, this match was built around between Triple H and Jeff Hardy. Like It's battles around between pinfalls between Triple H and Jeff Hardy. Triple H scored pinfall. It got back to Jeff Hardy, back to Triple H again. Jeff Hardy. I thought Jeff Hardy really going to win this belt because at this point, like in this, I feel like that's 3 at this point or 4. I don't know. There's 4. You go like the main 2 is Triple H and Jeff Hardy. Brian Kendrick, no. And and an MVP and Shelton Benjamin, maybe. It's very funny that MVP and Shelton Benjamin are the future members of the Hurt Business right now. It's a damn shame how Shelton's not. He's a heel right now. I wish he could just go back to be the gold standard. I wish he's be the gold standard, dyed his hair like blonde. It's like, and then play his music. Like, ain't no stopping me now. That was good. Like Shelton Benjamin had a good gimmick, the gold standard, man. Anyway, Triple H. I feel like Jeff Hardy was seconds away becoming the new WWE champion, but Triple H, I think he pinned, I think it was MVP in the last minute to really win this match and retain the WWE championship. I think he become the first and only guy to retain his title in the championship scramble matches. Anyway, so this is key on really kind of planting the seeds and keeping this rivalry throughout the rest of 2008 between Triple H and Jeff Hardy, because they had matches at the last No Mercy at the last No Mercy pay-per-view of the brand split 1.0, and they had and then at the final Cyber Sunday pay-per-view, Jeff Hardy will win the belt at the end of that year, at Armageddon in the triple threat match between, Edge and Triple H. So, you can tell they are pushing and strapping that rocket strap onto the back of Jeff Hardy. They're giving that push. And he's like, they're doing like this storyline, Triple H, not Jeff, Triple H, Jeff Hardy's climbing this brass, trying to climb up to get the brass ring, Anyway, so that was match number 5. Before we get to there was one segment actually before that. I'll get to that a little bit later. Match number 6. Yeah, match number 6. We got Michelle McCool defending the Divas Championship against Maurice. I'm guessing this is Maurice's first pay-per-view appearance. This match was not a good match. Right, well, like the bulks of the match had Maurice working on the knee of Michelle McCool, and then Michelle did the same thing to Maurice. Maurice kind of botched. There was one crucial botch. Basically, like Maurice did like a botch sun flip roll up. In the end, Michelle McCool hit like her finisher to win this match and retain the Divas Championship. Some people find her a little bit overrated. It's like because she's married the Undertaker, but she's a good wrestler. Michelle McCool, but Maurice, she's never been good in the ring. She's never had been good in the ring. Not just her first run in the company, but her second run. She only had one match in her second run in the company. That was against John Cena and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and Maurice at WrestleMania 33. So moving on to basically the I'm guessing that this is the main event of the final Unforgiven pay-per-view of WWE history. We've got the third and final championship scramble match, and this is on the Raw side. This is for the World Heavyweight Championship. You got like Batista, Rey Mysterio, Kane, JBL. Originally, it was supposed to be CM Punk. Unfortunately, at this scene with Randy Orton, basically called him a fluke, and then you got Rose, DiBiase, Manu, basically beating down CM Punk and beat down Kofi Kingston at the same time, and Randy Orton punted CM Punk in the skull. Basically, before that, I had this segment with Rose, DiBiase, Manu trying to impress Orton, say, is it impressing Orton? And Orton just kind of shut down Rose and DiBiase. That's like, oh, that's not oppressive. And then when Orton punched Punk in the head, it's like, you see that? That is oppressed, said to when Orton says. And really, this is planting the seeds of the formation of Legacy. Orton's group, because you can tell it's forming this group, and this was a good faction at the time. I like Legacy. It was a group of second generation superstars. It's a damn shame how Orton never it's a damn shame. I want to see Orton. I could see Orton phoning with Dallas, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel. Unless I don't know. No, Curtis Axel left the company. Shit. Damn, it's a damn shame. I want to see form that new faction with a new legacy with different other second generation superstars. But that's not going to happen. But that was a good faction back in those '09 period. Orton was the leader because Orton was the son of Cowboy Bob Orton. Cody Rhodes is the son of the late great American Dream Dusty Rhodes, and then Ted DiBiase Jr. is the son of the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase Sr. Manu I think he's the son of Alpha. Yeah, they kicked Manu out of the group. This is the form. The group was formed in the following year of '09. Yeah, Manu's out of the group. So they was planting the seeds of the formation of Legacy. And by the way, Rhodes and DiBiase dropped the belts to CM Punk and Kofi Kingston weeks later. I think it was on a Raw. I don't think they didn't really have it. I think it was on a Raw. I think it was a weeks later. I think. Anyway. You had at the time Raw GM Mike Anderley basically informed that CM Punk cannot compete in the Championship Scramble match, so he's basically find a replacement. And then he had this crappy segment with Big Show coming out, said he wants to be in the Championship Scramble match. And you got Vicky Guerrero, this SmackDown GM, confronting the Big Show. And then you got The Undertaker came out. They're teasing like he's gonna because Taker is still feuding with SmackDown GM Vicky Guerrero. This is after the Taker's feud with Edge came to an end. He's still feuding with the general manager of SmackDown at the time. I think Taker's been feuding since 2007. I think it was late 2007, during the feud between Taker and Edge. So anyway, Taker was about to chokeslam Vicky. I think he's got chokeslam her, put her in the casket, or tombstone her. But instead, Big Show turned for 5,000 times. I don't think Big Show turned 5,000 times. It was another Big Show heel turn. Basically, Big Show. I think he knocked out The Undertaker. I think it was the first time Big Show knocked out someone. This was the start of Big Show start doing the WMD. I think it's called the Weapons of Mass Destruction. He's been doing it ever since. So basically, he knocked down The Undertaker. This set up the rivalry between Taker and Big Show because they had the match at the following month's No Mercy pay-per-view that Big Show win, and Taker win the last next three. The last man standing match at Cyber Sunday, the casket match at Survivor Series, and a steel cage match on, I think it was the last SmackDown of 2008. So basically, another flop. Really, it was a mediocre feud between Taker and Big Show. It was okay. The match was okay, but this is the problem with WWE over the years. This is since Big Show debuted in 1999. After he had a great, because they do the consistent face and heel turn on Big Show. It's not just on Big Show, but Kane as well. I think WCW do the best. I think they did well with Paul White because I think he turned 3 times. He was a heel, part of the Dungeon of Doom. He turned babyface, was feuding with the NWO, and turned heel again. With WWE, it's like non-stop. Face turn, heel turn. Face turn, heel turn. It's just like Big Show. I think Big Show is better off as a heel. You can book him like a freaking nature. Like, I think when ECW as the third brand in '06, they got the best out of Big Show. They made him as the dominant guy. WWE don't really do that. Yeah, they did it in 2012, but it failed. Anyway, I'm not gonna go into that segment. Like I think I said before, like pay-per-view segments and pay-per-views do not work. So if it's building up to a match on the show, it might be work. But this, yeah, Big Show came out wearing his attire. It's like put him in the put Big Show in the match. This is probably you see this on Raw or even SmackDown at the time or even ECW, not on your pay-per-view that people spend a lot of money. Anyway, so and also with CM Punk's I explained to CM Punk's title reign. It's really that is criminal, and Big Show, CM Punk never get to have a chance to retain really compete in this match. He lost the belt without losing it. Anyway, so yeah, the competitors are you got like I said, Batista, JBL, Kane, Rey Mysterio, and the fifth mysterious opponent. It was rumored to be Big Show, and rumors supposed to be William Regal, but instead it was surprisingly Chris Jericho. Like Chris Jericho did a double duty on this show. He's still selling the effects after that uncensored match earlier against Shawn Michaels. Yeah, this match is basically one of the weakest out of the Scramble matches. It's very weak. It's just like anyway. Nothing no pinfalls. I think it's 4 times a pinfall. When I think Kane chokeslammed JBL, yeah, CM Punk's reign was officially over. I think that's 3 times. Batista, I think he pinned twice, and then in the last few seconds, in the last 4 seconds, Jericho pinned. I think he pinned JBL, and that was a shock. And then also Jericho, he got the last laugh. He lost the uncensored match to Shawn Michaels earlier. He ended the show as the new World Heavyweight Champion. It was a shocker. It really caps off Jericho's best year, man. This is Jericho's first world title reign since winning the undisputed title, in 2001, being both Stone Cold and The Rock the same night. Yeah, he dropped the title to Triple H at WrestleMania 18 in 2002. It waited 6 years. And Jericho, Jericho was at the time the most really the top heel in the company at the time. He was feuding with Shawn Michaels, but he had one of the best gimmicks of the time. Jericho, he said, his gimmick, he's the serious Y2J, grow out bit of his facial hair. I would say facial beard, but yeah, I think he had one time sometimes shaved it off, but he, wearing the suits, talking seriously. He basically calling fans parasites and hypocrites. And he always does his catchphrase. I think I'm the best in the world at what I do. And Jericho's character at the time was based on Javier Bandera's character from, I think it's called the Country of No Man. It's called I think it's called the Country of Old Man or No Man. Anyway, so he that really got him over. I think he later on become superstar of 2008, and he was he was the top over heel. I think it caps off his best year of the company, winning the world title. He had a good feud with Shawn Michaels, and winning his first title in 6 years. It kind of merged his feud because he's still feuding with Shawn Michaels. Anyway, so it's a downshift how CM Punk lost the belt. Like I said, he never lost the belt. He got punched in the head by Randy Orton. He didn't really feud with Randy Orton in 2009. They kind of rekindled the feud. The feud again in 2011. Building up to their match at WrestleMania 27 when the roles flips around because Punk's in the faction. The new Nexus. Orton's the babyface. That's another story for another time. So yeah, I think at this point, I think Punk's run was a flop as world champion. Like he won the Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania 24 early that year in March. He cashed in on Edge in really the Raw after Night of Champions, and yeah, his run was a flop. I think his match with Batista at Great American Bash, that was a flop because of fucking Kane. I think he had I think he had a bad match with JBL. I think that could be the reason why his title reign flopped, in my opinion. I think the problem is Punk's in his first few years, before the pipe bomb in promo in 2011, I think he was a bit of a cookie, yeah, he was kind of like a bland cookie cutter babyface. I'm trying to say. I feel like he's not the Punk. I mean, the problem is they're trying to make, at the time, the first few years of CM Punk, they're trying to make the CM Punk the WWE version of CM Punk, not the CM Punk from Ring of Honor. He became that character in 2011, and yeah, it's really funny. I think his ECW title reign in 2007 was a flop. Yeah, his world title reign, his first title reign was a flop. Yeah, really, yeah, he won the title, won the tag team belts with Kofi Kingston against Rose and DiBiase. I think it was October they won the belts, or November, and then the following and then the following year, I think the beginning of the following year in '09, he defeat Regal on Raw for the IC title belt. Yeah, he win another Money in the Bank. Yeah, he won the the Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania 25, and then win his second world title, and that led to his heel turn. That would be the best thing for Punk is turning heel and feud with Jeff Hardy. That really rekindled his momentum. Like everyone knows, he should have won the ECW title belt at that Elimination Chamber match at December to Dismember. That was, when Punk got eliminated, that really squandered his momentum. Yeah, he was kind of like a cookie cutter babyface. That could be the reason why he's flopped. That they were talking about Punk getting released. He was not going to be the man. This was in CM Punk's documentary. I'm trying to find it on the net. I don't think you're going to get it in the network, but yeah, I found out. You can find it on DVD. That is a good documentary. CM Punk's documentary. CM Punk, the best in the world. Yeah, talking about he's not. People like don't really had doubts of Punk going to be not going to be the best in really the top guy in the company. It's really funny. Like, this was like '08, and then by the time in 2011, he became the face of the company. The pipe bomb got him over, truly got him super over, and become WWE champion of that year. So anyway, so my final rating of the final Unforgiven in WWE history, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, and I think like the match of the night has to be Shawn Michaels Jericho, the on-center match. I think the three scramble matches deliver in my opinion. And also I put Cody Rhodes, I put Rose and DiBiase versus Crying Time for the tag team belts. That was good. There's nothing like thumbs in the middle. The only bad match on the show has to be Michelle McCool versus Maurice. Yeah, I also put Big Show's promo, Big Show Hilton in the con. That was planting the seeds of, it's just planting the seeds of Undertaker Big Show rivalry, another rekindled rivalry. The rekindled rivalry in 2003. That's another topic for another time. So anyway, yeah, this is officially the end of Unforgiven in WWE history, and then the following year they'll do Breaking Point. I don't know why basically that they scrapped it, because there's rumors because this show had had a bad buy rate because 2008 buy rate had basically had about 211,000 pay-per-view buys. It's an increase from the 2000 I almost say 2010. It's basically a little bit of an upgrade from the 2007 Unforgiven pay-per-view, because that pay-per-view got about 210,000 pay-per-view buys. I feel like the last final two Unforgiven shows just got a bit of a lowest buy rate. One's got 210,000 pay-per-view buys, and the other got 211,000 pay-per-view buys, because the 2006 Unforgiven pay-per-view had about 289,000 pay-per-view buys, because the main event of that show was really John Cena, Edge and John Cena in the TLC match for the WWE Championship. And the old 7-1, I think the old 7-1 got John Cena versus Randy Orton for the belt. Anyway, so yeah, and it's way better than the Breaking Point pay-per-view, because that pay-per-view, got about 169,000 pay-per-view buys. So anyway, so And also the Championship Scramble matches, you're not going to see it ever again because they did one more. That will be at the Bash of '09. That was for the ECW brand. That Tommy Dreamer will win. It was very funny. Like Matt Hardy is the first winner of the Championship Scramble match, and the last winner was Tommy Dreamer. Yeah, the damage they never really brought it back. I don't know why they scrapped it. It could be the reason why if you pin, like I said, if you pin or submit someone, you'll be the current champion. That could be the reason it didn't. I think it just really not got over by the WWE officials. If they bring it back today, actually, I don't want to see it. I think if WWE bring it back today, I think it'd be a bastardized version. I want to see NXT bring it back and this time change the rules. What could be like this? The wrestler with the most pinfall or submission will be the champion, not like someone pin someone and you be the current champion. That would be so. After that, that would be like so confusing as hell. Some people will probably give it like I see a lot of reviews of Unforgiven. I'm talking about this show. Said about all this, they'll probably say 6. They'll probably have 5 or 6 out of 10. No, I think people like kind of like crap on the Championship Scramble matches. Like I said, they're not bad matches. They were good. All 3 Scramble matches are good, but at the same time, I think it's just overkilling. That was doing like 3 gimmick matches in one pay-per-view. It's kind of overkilling. Like, in 2009, the very first Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, they did 3 Hell in a Cell matches. That is so overkilling. I don't mind 2, but like fucking 3, it's just like holy crap, man. So anyway, yeah, I give it a thumbs up. That is a thumbs up show for Unforgiven 2008. So hope you enjoy my review of the final Unforgiven pay-per-view of WWE history. Leave your thoughts on the comment section below, smash the like button, and subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube. So next time, before I should have said it in the beginning of the review. I think like this month I will start doing my reviews of in your house shows. I said to myself, when am I gonna do a review of in your house? So that'll be probably later this week. It probably next week, later this week or next week. You have to stay tuned to find out. So anyway, that's not the next review. An in your house show. So anyway, so next time in this classic WWE pay-per-view review series or segment, whatever you call it, I call it series. Anyway, so I was planning to do 2 shows. There's one show on my hand. I'm gonna leave you to write down in the comment section below because YouTube, in the nutshell, they got rid of the voting poll. Stupid. I'm gonna leave you to the fans. There's 2 shows. I'm gonna let you vote. You want me to review Vengeance 2003? That's in the Ruthless Aggression era, or Unforgiven 1999. This is basically the final pay-per-view under Vince Russo. It'll be the final pay-per-view of Vince Russo as the head creator of the WWF before going to WCW, or one of the worst pay-per-views of the 90s of the WWF, King of the Ring 1998. Actually, on second thought, let's go to one of the actually. Fuck it. Let's do. A month ago I did. Let's go to 2003. Let's go to that period. I haven't really touched on that period because the last review I did of that year, the last pay-per-view I did was basically Bad Blood 2003, the first ever pay-per-view, the first ever brand-only pay-per-view. That was on the Raw side. Let's go to the SmackDown side of that year. The next review. The next classic WWE pay-per-view review will be Vengeance 2003. I'll do this show first, and then next time will be, King of the Ring 1995. This is the Central Man officially signing out. Check you later.